Hi, welcome to Pictures, Noise and Words. I'm Hedgie, and here's a bit of a rant. Hopefully it doesn't come across as a rant. How not to get your friends into heavy metal. Um, I've noticed when you use a lot of reaction videos on the internet, and people make suggestions about what they want to see reacted to, which makes complete sense. Obviously, most times in the video, people are saying, let me know in the comments what you want me to react to next. And Lost in Vegas, it's a fantastic YouTube site. These guys are brilliant. Go and find them. Go and watch some of their videos. They're hip hop guys who live in Vegas, and I think they've probably been surprised themselves because they started reacting to reacting, but they do more than react. They don't sit there going like this. They have genuine, useful commentary on the things they listen to. They're clearly into music and have got a brain and can talk about things. And they started doing metal videos. And the metal community, because let's face it, it really is a community, has got right on board with it and loves to see their reactions, and me included. I love their videos. And but one thing I noticed is that, of course, they say, right, so tell us what you want us to react to next. And there's a lot of stupid suggestions in there, and where people will say, oh, react to, and it will be something that they're not going to like. So it'll be Norwegian black metal or something, and I get why people do it, but you won't get a genuine response. And maybe I'm putting too much pressure on the internet to want a genuine response. We'll see if anyone finds this, because this is genuine. This is me. I'm not doing this for to get a reaction out of you guys. This is just me telling you what I really think. And so they suggest ridiculous things that these people are not going to like I say, Norwegian black metal or some really sort of death metal or whatever. My go-to band when I want to say something extreme is Flesh God Apocalypse. I mean, I say this all of the time. Go and look up The Violation by Flesh God Apocalypse. I love it. I love their stuff. But it's not something you're going to give someone on day one. You think you like metal? Listen to this. And that's what's happening, is that people will make these suggestions, and it made me think about what happens in real life. And the same thing happens. You find out that somebody quite likes metal. This has happened to me genuinely. Sorry, just got a message. Yeah, don't care. I gotta stop doing that. In fact, you know what? Just take the thing off. There we go. Hey, oh, I feel so free. So, this happened to me genuinely recently, where a friend said, I go to a lot of gigs, I go to a lot of concerts, and he said, oh, I've never been to a heavy metal concert. All right, he quite like listening to Steps or something. I don't really know what he was really into, but not rock, and not metal. So he said, oh, I'd like to go to a heavy metal concert. I'd like to come with you. And I was like, yeah, really? Okay. Right then. Well, Amon Amarth were going around, so I bought him a ticket for Amon Amarth. And looking back, it was a stupid thing to do, because Amon Amarth are hard work. They're hard work live. On their album, you can pick out the melodies and the things. They're in there. They're a little bit buried, but they're in there, and it's you can listen to it. But live, they lose a lot of that. The detail gets lost live. So Amon Amarth can sound. Please don't come and find me and beat me up, Amon Amarth. But they can sound like they're playing the same song 9 times, because their songs are very similar, and also for someone who's not into rock metal, it's a bit overwhelming. They are a wall of sound. Let's face it. So I did that, and the thing is, You can't listen to a Monomath unless you've got a grounding in metal. You can't listen to Flesh God Apocalypse. You can't listen to Gorgoroth. You know, you can't. These are not the places you start. You don't start listening to Triptychon as my first metal band, do you? You know, you start listening to Iron Maiden. You start listening to, in fact, maybe not even Iron Maiden, because Iron Maiden's a bit gallopy, isn't it? It's like ding, 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 ding. You know, Steve Harris in there, lead bass. Oh, it's a bit Motorhead, really, isn't it? Anyway. So you don't start there, or maybe you start with Coheed, which has got fantastic, gorgeous melodies in Coheed and Cambria. That is gorgeous melodies, but it does have its rocky, real rocky element to it when it gets going. But it's got some beautiful songs. It's got some fantastic melodies. You start at that layer of intensity, or is it that layer of intensity? Is it at the top or is it on whatever? So I'll start there. You know, you get that layer of intensity, which is radio-friendly rock, just bordering into metal, because you don't want people to think that, you know, that the Final Countdown by Europe is metal, because let's face it, it's just a pop song with some rock elements. But you start off with your bands like that, and then you go into the next level of intensity, which might be Iron Maiden, it might be Metallica, and then you've got Megadeth, and you've got Machine Head, and as you can see, I'm working my way up here. You know, and then you start going, and the problem is, after a certain point, you have to start specializing. I think it's though, to be honest, I haven't really. Have I specialized? I don't know, because you've got your prog rocks, you've got your death metals, you've got your black metals, you've got your technical metal, you've got your folk metal, you've got your operatic metal, you've got the 10,000 genres of metal after that, haven't you? Where, because there's one thing you can do with metal is incorporate anything. You know, a bit of opera, yeah, sure, yeah, you know, Nightwish, we're going to do some opera and we'll have some folk music and we'll shove them in and we'll have some metal and call it that, and we've created Nightwish, and it works. Whether you like it or not, you have to admit it works. And you've got your real folk people like Ensiferum, I want to say then. That's right, yeah, Ensiferum. You know, you got real folky stuff. You got like Winter Sun, which is quite metal, but it's still got a folk element to it. And you've got technical, you've got your industrial stuff like Rammstein. You know, you can drop in any of these different things. You've got rap in there. Not really my thing, but that's not the point whether it's my thing. The point is, does it work? Yes, it does. I mean, look at flipping baby metal and Japanese craziness with the sort of schoolgirl voices. You know, that shouldn't work. That shouldn't work. And whether you like it or not, it does work. You know, that Chocolate song by Baby Metal. First time I heard that, I was just like, this is terrible and brilliant at the same time, and I need to go and listen to that again. You know, and so the one thing the problem is, so the only bit where you can really influence people is in this beginning bit, and that's to get them into it when you say, well, here's some stuff you might like, yeah, and you will never get to give them the Flesh God Apocalypse of this world. You'll never get to give them the Triptychon or whatever, because that's the sort of stuff that you need to discover for yourself. Once it gets past a certain point of intensity, and I'd say the point where you're crossing the line is when you get to Machine Head, frankly. You know, Machine Head's pretty intensive, let's face it, but brilliant. And there's got melody, and it's got musicianship that you can easily hear, whereas Amon Amarth has musicianship that you cannot easily hear. You've got to have the experience to be able to hear it. Imagine if you're a metalhead watching this now, imagine trying to get into jazz and you know nothing about jazz. I know nothing about jazz, but apart from, it has the 10,000 genres of jazz, the same as metal does. You've got your technical jazz, you've got your French avant-garde underground river jazz, which I may have just invented. But you get my point. It's got stuff that the likes of me has no concept of. And if I tried to listen to it, if I didn't start here with the radio-friendly jazz, if I started to listen to that, I haven't got a hope. because it would just sound like 4 people playing different songs in different tempos at the same time. Because I'm not tuned in, I've not got the grounding. I would just be like, no, I have no idea what's going on. And that's the reaction you would get if you drop someone in at the deep end. And I see this in the comment sections of the reaction videos. Some person who perhaps isn't necessarily into metal does a reaction video to Devin Townsend, and they go, that was really good, oh my god, that was brilliant, you know, and they're getting switched on to the genre. Wow, tell me something else I need to react to. Their experience only goes that far. So when you're typing in, oh yeah, Flesh God Apocalypse, which, like, as I say, is my go-to example, you know, Cannibal Corpse, lol, you're just going to break them. And it's the same thing in real life. I had a guy in my car, trapped with me in my car, about 3 hours on the M6 motorway. And I got my iPod with its 5,000 songs covering about 4,000 genres of metal and rock. And we had, you know, and he wasn't into it, but he knew I was, and he was saying, "No, go on, let's listen." So I started him with a bit of Coheed or something. He's like, "Oh, this is really good." Yeah, but is this the real? I said, no. It goes way down the coal mine, and he's like, "Oh, go on then, play me something really rare." Okay, Flesh God Apocalypse, click, and he couldn't. It's too much, too extreme. It's too out of his experience for him. So the song ends, and he's just, do you listen to that on purpose, kind of thing? And it's like, yeah, it's really good. It's full of, you know, it's about how it feels. It's about it's the song structures and all of that stuff. And he's just like, no, it's just a wall of noise. And yeah, it's not, but I can see why you think it is. So how not to get your friends into heavy metal is by trying to shock them. Or you've got to nurture people. You've got to put yourself in their shoes, and you've got to try and remember back when you didn't necessarily know anything yourself. When I was a teenager, you know, growing up with the early Iron Maiden, basically, and I can remember Master of Puppets coming out by Metallica, and listening to that and thinking, wow, these guys are seriously metal. Master of Puppets, which, let's face it, it is metal, but it's not extreme, is it? It's nowhere near the extremes. But I can just remember that experience of feeling like I was out there on the frontiers of metal. You know, Master, yeah, you think you're into metal? I listen to Master of Puppets. And you notice I'm doing the big thing, because in those days it was all albums and CD hadn't been invented. How old does that make me seem? About as old as this. But I grew up with that, and then I went into Megadeth, and then I grew up into, you know, I'm not very young anymore, so I've got 40 odd years of music behind me. So if I put on something extreme, you know, Norwegian black metal, I might not like it, but I have the grounding to understand it. And if you haven't got that, yeah, you know. So don't take someone who says, "Oh, I quite like rock music. I like that Final Countdown by Europe." You can't put them onto Gorgoroth. You just can't. Anyway, that's my 2 penneth worth. It serves no purpose whatsoever, but I'd be interested to see any comments if you agree or disagree. Yeah, I think I'll have one of these rants every now and again. It makes me feel good. Okay then, see you.